The Yankees have become known over the last couple of years for their, at times, unfocused play. And while overall their defense has improved this year relative to last, they still have their issues with poor stretches in this regard. And yesterday, they showed this off in full force, while combining it with an absurd lack of control on the mound as well, melding into what was, overall, their sloppiest team performance since 1975. I'll explain that more as we go on, but first, let's go through what actually happened. Things got off to a poor start early for Luis Gil, who walked his second batter of the game, Alex Bregman, on a 3-1 pitch, and then 2 batters later, he would do the same on a breaking ball to Trevor Story. However, in what would become a secondary theme on the night, the Red Sox would leave this opportunity wasted when Nathaniel Lowe flew out to left field. This takes us to our first real action frame, the top of the second, when New York's incompetence began by seeing Gil bobble a ball back to the mound, saddling them with their first error of the night. But oh, would it not be the last, as just 4 pitches later, Ceddanne Rafaela would ground a changeup back to the mound, with Luis making a perfect feed this time to second base, only to see Jazz Chisholm make a Javier Baez-esque throw into outer space on the pivot. 2 errors on 2 plays, and they would only just barely be saved from a third straight miscue when Ben Rice's throw to third base was caught on a dive by Ryan McMahon. If this ball goes into left field, it's an automatic run. The hitter at the plate, David Hamilton, would then take a changeup in the dirt for the 3rd walk of the day so far. Just 1 pitch after, Hamilton took off for second, inducing Rice's second horrible throw in the span of just 2 batters, scoring the Red Sox first run of the ballgame, and pushing Hamilton all the way to third base with nobody out. But wouldn't you know it, the Red Sox would try to out-ugly the Bronx Bombers when Hamilton fell asleep at third base, allowing himself to be picked off. Another base on balls would follow before Roman Anthony bounced a ground ball to Anthony Volpe. Ben Rice would go on to make up for his poor showing at the top of the inning, with the game tying no doubter to lead off the second. And the Yankees would even manage to take the lead in the 4th when Paul Goldschmidt singled up the middle, but this wouldn't last long either, as Boston would manage to tie things up on a sac fly in the top of the 5th, courtesy in part to a leadoff walk. Back and forth we would go, with the Yankees taking the lead on a Jazz Chisholm flare during their very next turn to hit, then Boston answering with an RBI single after another 1-out walk, again off the bat of Roman Anthony. This brings us to the 7th, when recent acquisition Lowe registered his second RBI of the night with a line drive double to the right center field gap, driving in the go-ahead run. Pitcher Luke Weaver would then load the bases with a couple walks, but lefty Tim Hill would manage to save the day momentarily with a clutch strikeout to get out of the jam. Ben Rice would then add on to his earlier production with a line drive triple with 1 out in the bottom of that inning, but I'm sure much to the frustration of New York fans everywhere, they would have to witness their own wasted opportunity when Jazz Chisholm struck out on a fastball right down the middle. Then Goldschmidt popped up to first base. Enyel De Los Santos would manage to retire the Red Sox without giving up another run in the top of the 8th, again working around some traffic, but after an impotent bottom of that inning, Goldie would take center stage once again by bobbling this routine ground ball to first base, allowing Hamilton to reach once more, while simultaneously forcing one more matchup with Anthony, and this would not work out well for the Yankees as he took a first pitch spinning breaking ball right down the middle and crushed it into the second deck in right field. And that was it. The Yankees would go down 1-2-3 in the 9th inning, dropping their lead in the wildcard race to just a half game over Boston. But it's worth mentioning as well that this was the first time since 1975, according to Katie Sharp on Twitter, that the Yankees had committed 4 errors and walked 9+ batters. One of those was intentional, mind you, in a 9-inning game. An ugly result in a contest so ugly we hadn't seen anything like it from them in over half a century. Alright everybody, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching, and if you did, consider checking out any of these other videos on your screen right now for other content just like this. Also, if you ever see anything you'd like to see me detail in the video, feel free to reach out to my email, basebpoet@gmail.com, and if I end up using your idea, I'll give you a shout out. Thanks for watching, have a great rest of your day.